about the amplitude modulators and demodulators. Okay, some particular circuits are there which could be actually used to generate the amplitude modulated signal. You will be amazed at the what kind of simple circuits are actually useful in generating amplitude modulation. You will see in this part of the course. Okay, so we will be starting today you could note it, amplitude modulators and demodulators. Note yourself. The first device that we will be discussing for generation of amplitude modulated signals is the square law modulator or the square law diode modulation. Let me write the name here, square law diode modulation. Okay, so as the name implies, okay, we will be basically using a diode for generation of the modulating signal. Let me just show you. So if you look at the diode, if you look at a diode, okay, the voltage across the diode and the current are related in this way. Let's say this is your diode voltage, okay, and let's say this is the diode current. Okay, so basically at low voltage levels you will get this kind of characteristic. Okay, something like this, where I is proportional to your V square. Basically in the low voltage region of the diode, this kind of relationship exists. If you go to the high voltage region, obviously it will become much linear compared to what it is in this case. Okay, so let me write about it. You could note it also, that what kind of characteristic we are using here. So you could write that square law diode modulation am I audible? And the screen is visible clearly, right? Okay, so square law diode modulation circuit makes use of nonlinear your nonlinear current hyphen voltage, the current voltage characteristics. Okay, characteristics of the diode. Okay, so this method is basically, as I told you, that this method is suitable for low voltage level because of the fact that this current voltage characteristic of the diode is highly nonlinear in the low voltage region. So as you go on to the linear region, it will become somewhat linear. So that's why at that moment it will be not applicable. So you have to make it work in the low voltage region. That is the thing. So the method, let me write that, you could note it also, that the method is suitable for your low voltage levels. Okay, because of the fact that the current voltage characteristics of the diode is highly nonlinear, particularly in low voltage region. The low voltage region. Okay, so we have to make it work in the low voltage region, otherwise the circuit will not be useful. So let me now write the circuit and then we will understand the working. So if you have noted it, let me just scroll it down. So next is your circuit diagram. The circuit is quite simple, as you will see. So here we will be applying the carrier, and on the bottom here we will be applying the modulating signal. So here we will be applying your Vm of t, and from here we will be applying the Vc of t, and these are the polarities, plus and minus are the polarities. As you could see, and then there you could see there is a diode. So this is the diode that will do everything. Okay, this is a diode which has been biased in the low voltage region basically. So in order to bias this diode, we again have some battery here or some power supply here, VCC plus minus. So the job of this power supply is basically to bias it in the low voltage region. Now besides that, okay, we have another circuit here. Let me just show you. Here you could see there is an inductor attached like this, okay, and then in parallel with that inductor is a capacitor, a tuned capacitor basically, as you could see, okay. And then across these two devices, there is this inductor and the capacitor, we will be getting our output, which is your V0. Plus and minus are the polarities, and this is basically the output voltage. Output O by P, output voltage. Okay. So this is how the square law diode modulator looks like. This circuit is, as you could see, this circuit is quite simple actually. It doesn't have much components, and you could see that the signal has been applied across the modulating signal, and the carrier are, as you could see, are applied across the diode, and then the modulation takes place. And here you could see that inductor is there. This one, let me show you. You could see this is a inductor and then a tuned capacitor. So this is basically a tuned circuit that will be actually filtering out some unwanted components. Okay, as we know that as we like, if we modulate or if we multiply two signals using any device, we will get the modulate the like the product signal as well as the two input signals. So if you want to cancel out some of the input signals, you could always use that tuned circuit. Okay. So in this figure, you could see that the carrier and the modulating signals are applied across the diode. Let me write the working, and you could note it. It will be better. Okay, and then I will explain. So working. So it is, as you could see in the figure. So let me write it here also, that it is observed from the figure that carrier and modulating signals are applied across the diode. That the carrier and your modulating signals are applied across the diode. Okay. So besides that, you could see there is a battery voltage. So let me write it here. A DC battery VCC, okay, is connected across the diode to get a fixed operating point. Okay. So to get a fixed operating point, you are getting a DC battery here. Okay. The operating point is on the VI characteristics. VI, V-I characteristics. Okay. Now, the working of the circuit may be explained by considering the fact the working of this circuit can be explained by considering the fact when two different frequencies are passed, when two different frequencies are passed to a nonlinear device, to a nonlinear device, the process of amplitude modulation takes place. the process of your amplitude modulation or AM takes place. Got it? So it is as simple as that. Hence, when the carrier and your modulating frequencies are applied at the inputs, at the input, not inputs, at the input of the diode, then different frequency terms appear. Different frequency terms appear at the output of the diode. Okay, output of the diode. So from those different frequency component, we have to keep certain components, we have to block certain components. That's why that tuned circuit is there. So we could write that these different frequency terms are applied across a tuned circuit which is tuned to the carrier frequency. Okay, which is tuned to the carrier frequency. Okay, so since it is tuned to the carrier frequency and it has a narrow bandwidth, so it will only pass the two sidebands. Okay, let me write that also. And has a narrow bandwidth okay, so just to pass two sidebands along with the carrier and reject the other frequencies. Okay. So have you noted it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me explain its operation. So see, this particular circuit is based on a principle, and that principle is that when you are applying different frequencies across a diode, in this case, these are the frequencies that we are applying. So the process of amplitude modulation takes place. We will see mathematically how that is happening, but for the time being, understand that when we are applying these two input frequencies, input signals across this diode, so it will give us the product as well as some other component. Okay, some might be higher frequency components, some might be lower frequency components. So different frequency components it will generate. So it is based on that principle. However, you have to make the diode work in the low voltage region, and in order to make it work in the low voltage region at a particular operating point, this battery VCC is like they are in this circuit. So once you have given the two frequencies to the diode and it has multiplied the signal and it has generated the different frequency components, then we have this tuned circuit. The job of this tuned circuit is basically to block the frequencies which are undesirable. The low frequency, high frequency signals that are there, they are actually undesirable. So they can be blocked using this tuned circuit. Okay. So what we actually need is just the carrier frequency. Okay. FC and the two there we will find the two sidebands. So we should like allow those particular frequencies. So in order to do that, this tuned circuit is there. Got it? So let us now look at it mathematically, like what will happen mathematically when signals are passed to the diode. Okay. So here is the mathematical analysis. Okay. So in the mathematical analysis, we have to first take the two input signals. Okay. Then we will take the VI characteristic of the diode and we will try to apply these signals to that characteristic. Okay. That is what we will be doing. So let us take the carrier voltage. Okay. So let me write here. Let us consider that your carrier voltage is your Vc of t, okay, and which is equal to nothing but AC cos omega ct. This is what we were earlier also taking. Then similarly, let us take a modulating signal, okay. So let the modulating voltage be expressed as your Vm of t, okay, which is nothing but equal to Am cos omega mt. So we have got the two input signals. Okay. Now let us look at the VI characteristic of the diode. Okay. So wait a minute. So before that, let us just see the circuit and try to understand what kind of voltage will be applied across the diode. Okay. So if you could see the circuit, you could see that this Vm of t, this signal Vm of t, okay, and this Vc of t, they are in series, as you could see. Okay, so they will be added and applied to the diode. Okay, so that means we could write in this way that the total voltage or total AC voltage, we could say, because if we consider only the voltage, the DC will be also there. So the total AC voltage across the diode, AC RO double S across the diode, is expressed as, so as both are added, we could write it like this, that Vs of t, okay, is equal to nothing but Vc of t, that plus Vm of t. So these are the two input signals. This signal is the carrier and the other one is the modulating signal of the baseband signal. Okay. So we could, if we put the value of Vc of t and Vm of t here, we could write this equation in this form, that Vs of t, okay, is equal to AC cos omega ct, that plus your Am cos omega mt. Okay, let it be equation number A. So this is the voltage that is applied across the diode. Now let us look at the nonlinear relationship between the voltage and the current. So it is like this, that the nonlinear relationship basically between your voltage and current. If you have read analog electronics, you must be knowing this equation. Voltage and current for a diode is like this. It is expressed like this: I is equal to A plus B, okay, Vs of t plus C Vs of t square. Okay, so it will be in this way. So based on the operating point, try to understand this. Based on the operating point, you may or may not find one of these components. When if you make it work in a different operating point, you may find that this term might be missing. And if you make it work in some other operating point, you might find that this will not be present. So there might be like different cases based on the operating point, basically. Okay. So, however, we have chosen an operating point where all these components are present, and the equation looks like this. Okay. And let me tell you what is this A, B, and C. So let it be equation number B, and let's say, let me tell you what is here A, B, and C. So here A, B, and your C. Okay, they are constants. They are just constants. And here, as you could see, I is the current through the diode. I is the current through the diode. Okay, and obviously Vs of t is the voltage across it. So Vs of t is the voltage across the diode. Okay, So now what we will do is we will put equation number A. You could see equation number A was this one. Let me highlight it also. So now what we will do is we will try to put this equation number A inside this equation number B, and we will see what kind of effect it causes to this signal. Okay. So in wherever Vs of t has been mentioned in equation number B, there we will be applying it. Let us apply it. So let me write that equation here. So putting the value of Vs of t in above equation, we get your I is equal to A plus B Vs of t plus C Vs square of t. Okay, so this is the expression. So let me put the value of Vs of t in it. So I will get A plus B. Then we know that Vs of t is nothing but AC cos omega ct. Okay, that plus AM cos omega mt. Okay, got it? Now that plus C times, okay, Vs square of t. That means I will write it like this: AC cos omega ct, that plus AM, okay, cos omega mt, and whole square, because Vs square of t was there. Got it? So now what I will do is I will try to multiply this constant B inside these brackets. Let us do that. So if I multiply it, I will get A plus B AC cos omega ct. Okay, that plus BAM cos omega mt. Got it? And then that plus C. The here if you see inside this bracket, you could see there is AC cos omega ct plus AM cos omega mt, and then there is a whole square on top of that. So A plus B whole square is equal to, you know, A square plus B square plus 2AB. So it has to be expressed in that way. So this will be, let me write it here, that it will be equal to C times, okay. So if A square first, so AC square cos square omega ct, okay, then that plus B square, that means AM square cos square omega mt. Got it? Then 2AB. 2AB means, that means we will be writing here 2AC AM cos omega ct cos omega mt. Okay. So if we now multiply all these signals, okay, if we multiply C inside this bracket, then we will get here like this, that we will get I is equal to A plus BAC cos omega ct plus BAM cos omega mt. Okay. Then the next terms are CAC square cos square omega ct, that plus CAM square cos square omega mt. Okay, and then that plus 2CACAM cos omega ct cos omega mt. So these are the terms that we will be getting. Okay. Now see, if you could look at these particular terms, let me just highlight them. So here you could see cos square omega ct is there and cos square omega mt is there. So what we could do is we could express them in this form: 1 plus cos 2 omega ct by 2, or 1 plus cos 2 omega m by 2. So let us do that. Let us express them in that form. Okay. So I can write it like this, that I is equal to A plus BAC, okay, cos omega ct plus BAM cos omega mt, okay, and then that plus CAC square, okay. So cos square omega ct is there, so I can write it as 1 plus cos 2 omega ct by 2, okay. And similarly the other term is also there, so I can write it as CAM square, okay, 1 plus cos 2 omega mt by 2, okay. So I could write it in this way. Then the next terms, if you could see, okay, so the next term, let me just show you this one, the product term, okay. So it is in this form, 2 cos A cos B, okay. if I just try to neglect that C and AC, you could see AC AM, you could see it is in this form 2 cos A cos B. So if I keep C AC AM outside, I could always write it and that 2 cos A cos B is equal to cos A plus B plus cos A minus B. So I have to write it in that form only. So let me write it here. So here I will get C AC AM. I have kept it outside, and in the bracket I will be writing cos, okay, omega C plus omega M will be one term C, then that plus cos omega C minus omega M T. Okay, so these are the terms I will be getting. Okay, so next let us do one more thing. Let us multiply this C AC square is there, let us multiply it inside the bracket. So C AM square is also there, let us multiply it inside that bracket. Okay, and let us also multiply this C AC AM inside this bracket. Let us do that. So I will write it as I is equal to A plus B AC, okay, cos omega CT plus B AM cos omega MT. Then the next terms are that plus CAC square, okay, by 2, okay, and then that plus CAC square by 2 cos 2 omega CT, okay, and then the next term, let me multiply it, I will get CAM square by 2, okay, and similarly the next term will be again CAM square by 2, okay, then cos it is 2 omega mt, 2 omega mt, okay, and then I have to also multiply the other terms also, that CACAM I have to multiply. Let me multiply it also, CACAM, okay, the first term is cos omega C plus omega M T, got it, and the second term is again that plus CACAM, okay, then cos omega C minus omega M T. So these are the terms that I will be getting. Okay. The next thing that we have to do is we have to group the different frequency terms. Now let us start with the zero frequency. Okay. So you could see that these are the terms which have zero frequency. There are no associated sinusoids with these terms. These are just some constant. So these are the DC terms. So let us group them. Okay. So they could be grouped like this, that I could write it here. I is equal to, okay, A plus, okay, then you could see the next two terms are CAC square by 2, or I could write it like this, that half CAC square, okay, the first term, then the next term is again half CAM square. So this is one part, okay. So these are all low frequency component or DC components. These are all DC components. The next thing, let us select that which is the next term. Let's see. So here you could see that this term is there, BAC, okay, cos omega C. There are no common terms like this. So let me write it here also, that it is your plus BAC cos omega CT. Okay. Now let us look at the next term. You could see the next term here is your BAM cos omega MT. So BAM cos omega MT. So there are no common terms with this. Okay. So there are no other frequency components. There are no other like terms which are having this frequency omega m. So it is also unique. So let me write that also. So I will get BAM, okay, cos omega MT. So this is another term. Okay. Then you could see that there are these terms. Highlight them in a different color. So here you could see the CAC square cos 2 omega CT is there, and then there is a term CAM square cos 2 omega MT is there. So you could see they are having different frequencies. However, you could see that the first term is having 2 omega C frequency, the second one is having 2 omega M, the ones which I have highlighted in green. You could see they are the double frequency term. So let me group them together. Let me keep them at one place. So I will write here half CAC square, Okay, the first term is cos 2 omega ct, and the other term is your half c am square, okay, cos 2 omega mt. So this is another part. Let me keep it in bracket so that I will be able to know that this is a different term. Okay, then the next term is, as you could see, the next two terms are this. Let me highlight them. So as you could see, one is CAC AM cos omega C plus omega MT, and the other is CAC AM cos omega C minus omega MT. So they are two different terms. Let me write them also. So one is your CAC AM cos omega C plus omega MT, and the other is CAC AM, okay, cos omega C minus omega MT. Okay. Now let us name these different frequency terms. Let me just highlight the groups. Sorry. Let me just highlight the groups, and then we will name these terms. Okay. So this is one term. This is another term. This is another term, and then these two form one part. They are part of one term, and then this one. These two. Okay. So let me just group them. Okay, the first group that you see here, okay, so let it be group one, then this one is, let's say, group two, and let's say this one is group three, okay, and then this one along with the other one, so let's say this is your group four. I am also writing four here, so group four, okay, and then here you will find this is your five, and then this is your six. So let me show you the first term that you see here, the number one that you see here, a plus half c ac square plus half c am square, that is nothing but that is from DC component. It is basically a zero frequency component, as you could see. Okay. Then the second term that you see, BAC cos omega ct, okay, that term number two, you could see that this is the carrier signal that we had given as input. Okay. Similarly, if you look at the third term, which is BAM cos omega MT, you could find that this is also an input signal, which was your modulating signal. Okay. Although its strength has been changed according to that B, however, the same component is there, the same frequency component is there. Similarly, if you see here, okay, on the next term, that half C AC square cos 2 omega CT, okay, that term, and the half C AM square cos 2 omega m, you could see that these are high frequency components, or these are the harmonics of the input signals. Okay, so these are also not desirable. So after that, if you see these two components, okay, component number 5 and 6, you could see that these are the modulated signals. So you could see the upper sideband, and then you could see the lower sideband. So this is the upper sideband, and this is the lower sideband, as you could see. Okay. So tell me, out of these components, which ones are wanted and which ones are unwanted, which we want to cancel. Achha, one more thing must have been clear here, that see, when we applied two input signals, okay, one was AC cos omega ct and the other was AM cos omega mt to the input of that diode modulator. What we are getting as output, you could see that we are not only getting the product. Let me just show you another one here, you will understand it much better. So here you could see, okay, here also you could note that here, see, we are getting the product. Okay, here we are getting the product. Along with the product term, we are getting some other frequency component, and we are also getting the two input signals that we had given. Okay, so this proves the statement that we discussed in the one of the first classes of modulation, that whenever we are trying to multiply two signals using any physical device, we are not only getting the product, we are also getting the two input signals. Okay, so here you could see those are the different components that are present. So as you could see here, the ones that I have shown here in green, okay, are the components that are desirable. So these are the components we require. The upper sideband and the lower sidebands are the things that we require. Okay, and we should remove the other components. Okay, however, since the second term, that BAC cos omega ct, is also having the same frequency as the two sidebands, so that will also remain. So these three components which I have highlighted in green, they will remain and the others need to be blocked. Okay, so how can we block this? So you could see that in this circuit there is a tuned circuit, as you could see. Let me show you. So here you could see there is this tuned circuit here. So this is the job of this tuned circuit, to keep only on the three components which I have highlighted in green, and it will block the other frequency components. Okay. So here, as you could see, the components which I have shown you in green, they will be there and the others will be blocked. Okay. So you could note down what are these terms 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 and 6. Let me write it here and you could note it. This is important. So you could write that term 1, okay, is the DC term. So it will be blocked. Okay. Then you have term number 2, that is the carrier frequency or the carrier signal. CARRI, carrier signal. Then your term number 3 is the modulating signal, or this is also an input signal. Okay. And then your term number 4 is the harmonics. Okay. High frequency components, harmonics of your carrier and your modulating signal. Okay, so they will also be blocked. Then there is your term number 5, which is your upper sideband. The upper sideband. Okay, and then we have the term number 6 is the lower sideband. Okay. Now, as I told you, we have to use the tuned circuit to allow certain frequency components and block certain frequency components. So let me write that here. So the tuned circuit here is tuned to your omega c, okay, which is basically carrier frequency, and it will pass components in the range omega c minus omega m to your omega c plus omega m. Okay, and it will block all other components. Okay, so it will block all other components. So therefore, the required expression for output current will be how much? Let me write here. Let me once show you the different frequency components, then we will see the expression. So in your copy, just look at this equation. Okay, I is equal to A plus half C AC square. This equation is there. Na? So just look at this in your copy, and then you see this diagram which I am showing you. So I am showing you the one-sided spectrum only. Okay, so there you could see that A is there, then half C AC square is there, and half C AM square. They will be located here. Okay, so they are DC and they will be located at 0 frequency. Okay, so here the term number 1 will be present, as you could see. Then the next term is BAC cos omega ct. So BAC cos omega ct will be located here. Okay, so this is your term number 2. Got it? And then we have the next term BAM cos omega mt. So term number 3. So it will be located somewhere here. Okay, so this is your term number 3. So here the frequency is omega m, and for the term number 2, the frequency was omega c. The frequency was omega c. Okay, and then you could see there is this term number 4, half C AC square cos 2 omega CT, and there is 2 omega MT also. So those frequencies, the first one is your 2 omega CT, it will be located here. Okay, 2 omega C. So it will not be such a high amplitude component, it will be harmonic. So harmonics are necessarily normally low amplitude components, it will be somewhere here. Okay, and then there is another term in that group number 4, that it was half C AM square cos 2 omega MT. So since this much is omega M, okay, so 2 omega M will be somewhere here. Okay, and its strength will be also very small because it is just a harmonic, so it will be at 2 omega M. So this is nothing but your term number 4. Okay, then the term number 5 and 6. So term number 5 will be located here. Okay, omega C plus omega M, and then the term number 6, which is here, which is omega C minus omega M. Okay, so these are the different frequency components which are actually present in that signal. Now, using that tuned circuit, obviously we will be passing a few components and we will be blocking a few components. So the ones I am showing in green, they will be passed. The filter's response will be something like this, and only these components, frequency components, will pass. Now you must be understanding why we are taking these 3 components. Okay, so as you could see, the components which now I am showing in yellow, they will be all blocked. So whichever I am showing you in yellow, those components will be blocked. As you could see here, so whatever I have shown you here in yellow, those frequency components will be blocked. That means component number 2, 6 and 5 will be there. So this component number 2 is also undesirable. Okay, however, there is no way we could remove it. Okay, it will climb, like go on inside that filter. So there is no way we could actually avoid that. Okay, so that means the output current equation will be now changed. Let me write it here. That therefore the required expression of output current will be how much? It will be your I0 is equal to, first, that component number 2, which is your BAC cos omega CT, that plus CAC AM. This is your component number 5, CAC AM cos omega C plus omega MT, and then component number 6, which is your CAC AM cos omega C minus omega M. So these are the different components that will survive, okay, that particular filter. So we could now write it in its normal form. Okay, so let me write it as I0. We will again try to write that in in its original form, which was 2 cos A cos B. In that form we have to write it. So I can write it as BAC cos omega CT, that plus 2C AC AM. This was its original form. Then we had taken it to a different form. So cos omega CT, then cos omega MT. So what we did here, so that cos A plus B plus cos A minus B, we have expressed again in 2 cos A cos B form. Okay. So again, that is equal to, I could write I0 is equal to, if I take BAC common from here, okay, then I could write it in this way, 1 plus, okay, BAC and that cos omega CT also common, but I will keep that cos omega CT on the other side. So I will get 1 plus 2C AM, okay, by B cos omega MT, and here I will keep cos omega CT. So now you could compare this one with the general expression for the amplitude modulated wave. Okay, so you could find that it will be in this form, BAC into 1 plus MA, modulation index, cos omega MT. Okay, cos omega CT. So from these 2 equations, you could find that the modulation index, okay, where your MA or modulation index is equal to 2C AM by B. Okay, so it will be the modulation index. Okay, for this square law modulator, as you could see. Okay, so this is basically the expression